We are now joined by Ilene Davis, Democratic nominee who's running against Republican incumbent Gil Gatch for the State House District 94 seat, which represents parts of Charleston and Dorchester counties and Lincolnville as well.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. I'm curious, this is the first time that you're running for a public office.
Absolutely.
Why did you decide to run?
Well, the reason I decided to run is because I'm a part of the community, and I live and raise my kids in this community for years. And I saw a lot of issues on the table that were concerning to me, my family, and the folks that live in my community.
And what some of those issues were most concerned?
You know, we have women's rights on the table, we have public education funding, we have infrastructure with our roads. Those issues are not just concerning to me and my family, it's concerning to everybody in Dorchester County.
Well, let's take transportation, for instance. So where would you fix the issue of potholes, congestion, things that have been on the lips of many, many people here?
Absolutely, absolutely. Things that came to mind. A matter of fact, my campaign manager and I was having this discussion earlier, and we realized that not one person can make this change, but it's going to take a whole army of people, sure, I should say. But one thing I bring to my mind is that every day we have 18-wheelers transporting through the state of South Carolina. Is that something that we should be looking at in trying to help them maybe come up with some type of tax that we can charge them to help fix these roads, because they are the ones who's damaging these roads.
Well, when you throw the word tax out, and especially in this economic climate,
right,
you know, we're dealing with inflation. We are looking at a recession. I mean, there are some people who disagree that we're in a recession, but either way you cut it, there are a lot of people who are hurting because of how expensive gas is at the pump. And so how do you sell the idea that adding a tax is going to be good for the public?
Well, let's think about it. I'm not saying let's add a tax. What I'm saying to you is we have to come up with some type of way of fixing these roads. Now, I'm not for taxing, because God knows we pay enough tax. Everybody is suffering in the grocery store, at the pump, but we have to put this line item on the budget. Somehow we have to get this on the budget and make sure that the money that is allocated for these roads be used for the roads.
Moving on to education.
Okay.
Education is also extremely important to people
Yes.
here. And South Carolina, depending on where you live, is ranked quite low when compared to the rest of the nation. So what are some of the solutions that you have in mind to improve education for our younger generations?
Well, one of the things that comes to my mind is funding. I'm for funding, making sure our funds stays in our public schools, making sure that the money that is allocated is spent for public school and not end up in private charter schools. I want to make sure that the money that we have, that the kids that live in the upper part of the community versus the kids that live in the lower part of the community have the same advantage. Make sure the money is spread equally.
And economically speaking.
Right.
And school choice. Are you for or against school choice?
When you say school choice, could you collect?
Well, just allowing parents to be empowered with deciding where they want their child to go to school, and having the opportunity that if they can't immediately pay for private schooling or so forth, that based off of their economic standing, that they're able to still make that happen for their child, rather than being stuck in a school district that is underperforming year after year after year.
Well, when I think our parents should have a decision making in that, but I think we have to make sure that it still be balanced equally. Because there's some parents who cannot afford to put their kids over here. Should they have an opportunity, we have to somehow figure out a way to bridge that gap. Because we have students from all economic backgrounds. So I think being able to allow parents to make some decision in that, but we still need to have some type of guideline. Because the parents that can't get their kids over there, I believe that the money should be spent in public education. The funding should be there, because we have some wonderful teachers. We have some wonderful bus driver. I'm not just advocating for teachers pay.
Sure,
It's
sure.
all the way down the line.
Well, they say it takes a village,
It-
right?
it does.
And it really does.
And when you look at the first thing in the morning, if a kid is riding the bus, the first face they're meeting is a bus driver.
Certainly.
And it's that bus driver has a good attitude.
And the last face.
And the last face.
Yeah.
So if that bus driver has a good attitude in the morning when that child hit this, that's going to determine their day.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Now, for people who want more information about your campaign, where should they go?
They should go to my website. My website is Davis for SC. And the upcoming event should also be listed on there.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Ilene Davis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
your time.
having me.
We're back in 2 minutes.